KCAU 9 Sports.
What's poppin', Siouxland? Titles are on the line in Lincoln as just two local teams remain in championship contention on the final day of the NSAA volleyball season. The Laurel Concord Coleridge, wow, that's a tongue twister, Bears look to cap off its run with the Class C2 title against Freeman. Both teams have just dropped one set at state so far. Falcons win the first set. Bears battling back Carly Cavols. There for the two-hand slam, LCC caps off a 10-6 run with the victory in sets to 25-16. LCC down 2-1, not giving up in the fourth frame. Tyler Rika there for the ace, tied up at 14 apiece. Freeman finding an answer. Falcons soar for the kill. Falcons claim the title with a 3-1 win. Bears end the year at 33-4 overall. In Class D2, number 1 Wynot is one win away from its first state title, battling number 3 Cambridge. Trojans take the first set, point Blue Devils in the second frame. Cambridge attack goes into the net. It's tied up. Cambridge wins set 3, now set point. Wynot in the fourth. Great backhand fourth with even better save from Wynot. Jordan Foxhoven down the line. Officials confer and say it stays in. Huge plays force a fifth set. Blue Devils up big, match point. Wynot with the block. Boom. Wynot secures the title in program history, defeating Cambridge 3-2. The Saturday college football slate in Siouxland was filled with snow. Many exciting matchups around the GPAC, including the Morningside Mustangs hosting the Mount Marty Lancers. Mustangs coming off a 42-0 win at Doane last week, looking to remain undefeated at home against Mount Marty. Morningside leads 14-7 in the second quarter. Zach Chevalier connects with Drew Sellen, Nebraska native with some space. Good for a 25-yard gain and a first down. Mustangs moving to the red zone. Next play, Sellen on the reception again, makes a man miss and runs on a tightrope down the sideline for the touchdown, capping off an 88-yard drive to make it 21-7. Mustangs add on to the lead. Jalen Birch hits pay dirt from 2 yards out. Morningside rolls to a 63-20 win over Doane. Now Northwestern continues its late season surge on a 3-game win streak and up to number 20 in the newest NAI poll, hosting Doane. Already up 37-0 after the half. The Red Raiders take it downfield. Colby Duncan would hit Cohen Jacobs, the redshirt freshman, cash in his first touchdown of the Red Raider career for him. A couple possessions later, Duncan would fumble the snap, but still pick it up and launch it downfield to Tanner Scouten, who would beat his man and then actually slide down at the 1-yard line. Northwestern then called on senior D lineman Jacob Dragsta to try and have a little fun, but he'd lose the ball, proving why he plays defense. Just another fun day in the snow. Duncan totals 6 touchdowns, part of a 51-20 Red Raider win. Dordt has won its last 7 meetings against Concordia, hoping to make it 8 in a row at home versus the Bulldogs. Up 28-14 after half. First play of the drive, the defender defense punches the ball out to reclaim possession. They would immediately cash in on the field possession with a quick pass from Colson Cruz to Isaac Looker, put Dordt up 35-14. Next defender possession, Daniel Dickerson would get hit at the line of scrimmage, but would continue to drag multiple guys with them to the end zone to stack another 6 points on the defender's lead. Only 5 minutes later, the defenders knocking on the door again, would hand it to Preston McCoy, who would drop the shoulder and thump one Bulldog into the ground, dive over him into the end zone. Defenders continue to dominate and stay perfect, taking down Concordia 56-20.
I'm just proud of these guys. We challenged them early in the week that this would be the first ever 9-win season, 9-win regular season for our program. And to do that, we're going to have to find something a little extra. You want to be in a spot where you're not hoping somebody loses for you to get into the playoffs. You want to control your own destiny. And, right now we're in a great spot. We just got to play it 1 week at a time. That's what we've been doing all year. We've not taken one opponent lightly. Our guys prepare their tails off, and it's paying off.
Dordt visits Morningside next Saturday. In Sioux Falls, Wayne State visits the USF Cougars. Both teams remain in the mix for the NSIC South title. Cougars on the move. Tate Schaefer finds Hank Brown Jr. for the 38-yard touchdown. Sioux Falls leads 6-0 at the end of the first. Wildcats coming up big in the second. Dawson Forgey moves the chains, part of a single-game record, 181 rushing yards. Wildcats win 42-13 in that one. Now, more area football scores. Briarcliff 28, Waldorf 12. Chargers wrap up the year at 6-5, tied for most wins in a single season in program history. In Nebraska, Wesleyan 21 and Buena Vista 34. Now, the Interstate Series comes to the Dakota Dome as South Dakota hosts SDSU. Both teams come into the day ranked for the first time since 2014. Now, Jackrabbits have won 13 of the last 16 meetings. USD boasts a 4-1 record at home. Opening play from scrimmage for South Dakota State. Pitch to Jack Smith, gets lost in the shuffle, and he's gone. 75-yard house call. Jack gets the Jacks on the board. SDSU in front, 7-0. Coyotes with an answer. It's L.J. Phillips Jr., heard his name before, cuts to the defense, notches his 13th rushing touchdown of the season to tie the game. Both teams trade field goals 1 minute before half. It's going to be Aiden Booman finding Lorenzo Fenner. Coyotes go 80 yards in 38 seconds to take its first lead of the game. Coyotes also take down SDSU 24-17. Now, the Iowa Hawkeyes are taking part in its first home contest against a top 10 team since 2022, welcoming the Oregon Ducks into town. Iowa trails 9-0 in the second. Red zone look for the Hawkeyes. Mark Gronowski connects with redshirt freshman DJ Vonham, untouched for the 3-yard score. Late game drama, 4th and goal. Iowa down 5. Gronowski rumbles in from 3 yards out, his 9th consecutive game with a rushing touchdown. Iowa now leads 16-15. Ducks driving late. Dante Moore gets the Ducks in field goal range. Atticus Sappington, what a name, splits the uprights up from 39 yards out. Oregon escapes with an 18-16 win. Now, Iowa State is on the road with a chance to snap its 4-game losing streak with a win at TCU for the first time since 2020. Cyclones would touchdown first after Rocco Besch finds Siouxland's Ben Bramer over the middle, and he'd turn upfield, break a few tackles before breaking the plane. Cyclones 6, Frogs nothing. They would fall behind and not score again until the fourth quarter, when they would hand it to Carson Hansen up the middle to cut into the deficit. Now we have a game on our hands, folks. Cyclones would make TCU punt on the following drive. Back to return, Aiden Flora. He'd catch it near the 20 and floor it 79 yards all the way to the crib. Iowa State takes a late game lead. Cyclones would hold off the Horned Frogs 20-17, snapping their losing streak and punching a ticket to a bowl game. Now, Nebraska also in action tonight at UCLA. Huskers QB TJ Lateef making his first career start in his home state of California. This game is still in progress. At last check, it was 28-7 Huskers. And Lateef stepping in for the injured Dylan Raiola, of course, having himself a day so far, going 8 for 8 with 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, the Musketeers continue its home stretch with its first of 2 weekend games against Dubuque, Fighting Saints squad that is just one of 3 teams in the entire USHL with 10 or more wins on the year. Musketeers rocking the red and white and blue threads for the military appreciation game. Reigning USHL Forward of the Week, Trey Jeffries and company looking to earn the win at home against Dubuque. Fighting Saints wasting no time in this one. Melvin Ekman parked in front of the goal, tips in, pass, 1-0 visitors lead. Dubuque with another look, flexible save from Jack Fitchhorn. Busy night in the net for the Sioux City goalie. This one is all Dubuque. Fighting Saints score 5 in the first and win 7-3. And with that, we'll be right here after the break. Cyclone fans finally slept soundly last night after winning their first game in over a month, beating TCU 20-17. It was a chaotic game for the Cyclones, to say the least, scoring first, then not scoring again until the fourth quarter. Then they were down by 11. They proceeded to score 14 unanswered to take the lead and eventually the win. This game not only broke their 4-game losing streak, but also punched their ticket to go to a bowl game.
I feel like it's what this program stood for every step of the way. I mean, this team has gone through, and I know we went through some stuff last year, nothing like what's going on in this locker room. And the character, the guts, the toughness of our kids to battle. I think they've showed it the last 4 weeks, and they showed it again today, and we were able to make enough plays when it mattered the most to finish the game. So really proud of our kids.
The Cyclones now hit their second bye to regroup before taking on Kansas on the 22nd. It's hard to believe we are already in week 10 of the NFL season, but regardless, we got some highlights to look at. Let's start in the Windy City where the Bears hosted the Giants. It's becoming that magical time of the season with a little flurry in the Chicago air. Bears would strike first, though, with a rookie running back, Kyle Monangai, up the middle. This, however, would be their last points until the second half. Jackson Dart and the Giants would score 20 to claim a huge lead, but the Bears weren't finished. Caleb Williams would hit Roma Dunze to make it a one-score game. Hopefully, that makes his pops get off Twitter for a little bit and off the team's back. But still down after the 2-minute warning, Caleb Williams takes it himself from 17 yards out, walking a tightrope into the end zone to take the late game lead. Bears hold off the Giants and complete the comeback to win this one 24-20. Meanwhile, up north, the Vikings looking to go above 500, hosting the Ravens, who are currently on a 2-game tear after Lamar Jackson's return. Minnesota would get on the board first with the help from Aaron Jones up the middle for 6. This game would get out of hand for the Vikings as they wouldn't find the end zone again until late in the 4th when McCarthy would hit Jalen Naylor in the back corner of the end zone. Nice little toe drag there. Vikings would not convert the 2-point conversion, and the time was too little, too short for a comeback. Ravens get a 3rd straight win, beating Minnesota 27-19. Finally, in D.C., the Commanders hosted the Lions, who look to bounce back from their loss to the Vikings last week. Big Dan Skipper getting their running routes. Detroit would get on the board first after Goff finds Jahmyr Gibbs in the post, put the Lions up to start this one. Wouldn't be long later, they would score again in the red zone. This time, Amon-Ra St. Brown breaking the plane to make it a 2-score game. This one was never close. The Lions blew out the Commanders, doubling their score, winning 44-22. Have your top 5 plays of the week right here. Let's get started. This one was a hard one. All these clips are arguably number 1. Let's start with number 5. Number 5 takes us to Elk Point Jefferson, where Levi Hansen would pass to Anthony Tatro. He'd do a little hook and ladder toss into Brody Van Rokel, who'd take it in for the Husky score. Number 4 comes from the All-Nations Championship. Winnebago's Elijah Whitebear rolls out, hucked it to a crowd of players, and Rakeem Freebacks would come down with it and take off for the huge Winnebago score and the Dakota Dome. Number 3 takes us to the 2A volleyball state title game, hitting with a huge diving recovery here to keep the set alive, and the ball would be set for none other than Addie Ortegren to get the point. Boom, hitting with the score. Number 2 goes to Cal Jepson from Sioux City East. Quarterback would find himself in a Johnny Manziel reenactment, avoiding the pressure and getting it downfield to Kason Claiborne to keep this game close. Way to get out of the pressure, way to avoid the sack. Finally, number 1 takes us all the way out to Crofton. Long drive, beautiful stadium if you've never been there. Preston Foxhoven would intercept this pass, dodge and weave through traffic, reversing field twice until finally bringing it all the way back to the crib, collapsing into the end zone. I'm sure that was a tiring pick 6. And that will do it for our top 5 plays of the week. 11 of GPAC football is in the books, and a few new local players earned weekly honors. On the offensive side of the ball, it's Northwestern quarterback Colby Duncan. Red Raiders rolled past Doane on Saturday with the help of 6 total scores out of Duncan, 5 through the air and 1 on the ground, along with 385 total yards of offense. On defense, it goes to Morningside DB Victor Atupra after the sophomore caused 4 Mount Marty turnovers, including 3 interceptions and a forced fumble. He also snagged 3 tackles on top of that. But he wasn't the only Mustang to earn weekly honors. Kicker Tommy Fitzsimmons was named Special Teams Player of the Week after going 9 for 9 on PATs, and M-Side's 63-20 win over the Lancers. But that leads us into our latest top 25 rankings from the NAIA. As per usual, not a whole lot of movement near the top, but that could change this week. Number 6, Dordt, undefeated, having their best season in program history, will travel to Sioux City to take on number 9 Morningside on Saturday. A huge prove-it game for both programs. So if you have nothing going on Saturday afternoon, of course, definitely think about checking it out. But also, you can't forget about Northwestern, slowly clawing its way back up to now number 19, looking to finish their regular season strong, heading to Concordia on Saturday. It was a slow start for the season for the Chicago Bears, but with the blink of an eye are now sitting at 6-3 after beating the Giants 24-20. The Bears found themselves in a little bit of a pickle on Sunday, being down 20-10 going into the 4th quarter, not having scored since the beginning of the game, but thanks to a few big plays made by the defense, Caleb Williams and the offense were able to score twice, take the lead, and win the game, all in the final 5 minutes.
Culture is defined when you face adversity. And we've been overcoming it every time, man. Hey, we're 6-3. Let's keep it rolling.
It really feels like I'm on repeat here. Just these guys are finding a way to fight until the end and win these games. And so, once again, not our prettiest game. We had a number of things go on, and our guys didn't waver. You know, they stayed consistent with it and fought until the end.
The Bears look to continue their hot streak this Sunday against NFC North rival Vikings. But we still have one more game before we start talking about Week 11 matchups. Stay tuned after the newscast for Monday Night Football between 2 NFC powerhouses. The Packers and Eagles look to continue their domination at 7:15. What's poppin', Siouxland? For those of you who didn't fall asleep during that absolutely exhilarating Monday Night Football game, here's some highlights to catch you up. There's not many to choose from tonight, as this game was donuts at halftime and then 3-0 going into the 4th quarter. I'll take back what I said earlier about this being a fantastic matchup because I'm not sure if either team was aware it was game day. Wouldn't see a touchdown until the fourth quarter when Jalen Hurts would drop back and hit Devonta Smith in stride for an Eagles touchdown. But don't worry, down 10 late game, Packers would finally do something with Josh Jacobs pushing the pile for a score. And it would start getting exciting a little bit, kind of. Packers with 2 final possessions. Not sure what the plan was here on fourth down. And then to tie it, finally with under a minute left, they call on Brandon McManus. And the kick is up. Well, Eagles beat the Packers 10-7.